Well, 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 it is time again for another episode of the Dosage podcast. Can you believe it's already been almost a month since our last one, Rob?
It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
It doesn't. How time quickly passes. We're already in the second month of the year of, 2022, right? Yeah. Yo, Mortal Kombat, that's right.
Seems appropriate.
It does seem appropriate. Thank you for the redeem their ads. What's going on, chat? Ty asked the great question, where are the other two? Running late. Personal issues, I guess. So they will be joining us at some point during the evening. So we're shuffling around our
Until
segments.
then, you get my face larger on your screen.
It's true. Yeah, once the others join, we'll shrink down. That's what she said. Yeah, what's up, everybody, though?
Doesn't she usually want things to get larger?
We're wrong kind of podcast. Wrong kind of podcast.
Oh, okay.
This is love stories and representation. This is not that kind of love story. We're going to leave that
one. Are you sure?
I'm positive we're going to leave that one alone.
Well, since we're here together, it could be a love story and representation?
No, this is just a very long promo segment from day one, am I right? Yeah. Where's Trevor at? Put him up. Thunder says, cool shirt. Yes, Undertaker. As I touch my breasts. So Ty's here. Thunder's here. We got Trevor, MX, Ads, Jolly. Who did I miss? I think that's everybody so far, right? If I missed you, shout it out. What's going on, guys, though? The Dosage Podcast. There's Thorn, Orochi here in chat. So once a month, this is our new format. This is episode 137, the Dosage Podcast, where we combine all of our favorite things and our specialties from what we were doing last year on our podcasts. That includes retro wrestling. We're going to talk about retro pay-per-views. We're going to talk about a music album, whether it be a new release or something that we really are passionate about as far as music. We're going to talk about video game movies and our continued search to find the worst one ever. And then we always have a main segment, and this month's main segment is known as Love Stories and Representation in Gaming. Ty with a 95-bit donation, hip hip.
Hey.
All right, thank you for that, sir. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack tonight. I hope you guys are here for it. It's Black History Month. It's also the month of love, known as February, as that's what some people call it. I don't know. I've never called it the month of love. Have you ever called it the month of love?
No, it's just February.
It's just February, so that's fair.
I kind of did fail. I'll call myself out. I did not get Amy a single thing for yesterday. Not one thing.
So you want a confession? I didn't get Amy anything either. So
she's neglected this year. That's a fail on my part. I completely forgot what day it was until last night, and yeah.
I honestly, we made like our own pizza kit with the kids, and like she put together this dessert, the same dessert that we had for my birthday. Remember that Oreo thing?
That thing was delicious,
yeah.
But.
So I requested that get made again because sadly, you know what happened with the leftovers that day that you came by? We left it out. You didn't get any? No, I got some, but we didn't. Oh. We didn't put it in the refrigerator.
Oh,
and it sat out overnight. So unfortunately, it probably was not safe to consume.
I can tell you right now, I still would have ate it.
You eat pizza that's sat out overnight. We've had many conversations on that. You're not supposed to do that, but you, on the other hand, yeah, you've eaten some weird things over the years. Ty says, "Damn good, not the only one who hasn't given Amy anything." So yeah, Ty didn't get Amy anything either. Jolly got Mrs. Kaz a rose that she can't kill. That's smart. I do love fake flowers. I've gotten my wife fake flowers before. They're in a vase still. Because I hate spending money on flowers and then they die in like a week. It's so crazy, especially for Valentine's Day. Roses are so expensive around this day. Crazy. Ty says,
get them like the day after. See?
Well, yeah. And then for like going out to dinner. Back. We might be back. Are we back live? It seems to be going. What's up, Batman? Are we back live? Technical issues here on Twitch. Hi, Rob. You still with me? Raid's here. Thunder's got us back. Hi, Rob. You still here? He's like frozen.
Sad face.
Say, can you hear me? I hear you. Let's see if this thing fixes itself. What joy, guys. Let's refresh. So let's do this.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now. Okay, I've refreshed. So technical issues. Can you guys hear and see us again? So maybe it's a good thing that everyone's showing up late, so we can iron this out.
I'm feel like I'm good now.
Okay. Jolly says Twitch is being dumb. You can see chat, but that's it. So for those that can hear or not hear, or see or not see, everyone type in chat. Close out of Twitch and then launch it back again. You should be able to hear us if you're having any issues. But let's talk about the things that we're going to talk about tonight, right? It's episode 137. This is Love Stories and Representation. We got a main theme that we're going to end up getting to later tonight. But before we start, and I might circle back and ask the other guys as they join this question, but I wanted to ask you as well. This is to kind of get us warmed up here for tonight. Last month, we talked about Xbox acquiring Bungie and Activision, or not Bungie, Blizzard and Activision, right? Bungie's the what I'm going to shift to. So we talked about that big multi-billion-dollar purchase, right? So the question I have for you, for one, did you hear about Sony acquiring for a few billion Bungie?
No.
You did not hear about that? Okay. Well, following that purchase from the last podcast that we talked about, Sony purchased Bungie. Now, are you familiar with Bungie?
The name is familiar, so I know that they make a big game, but I couldn't remember. I don't remember what it is at this particular second in time.
So this is not enough big news story to even slightly impact you or have an opinion on then?
It might. I honestly don't pay attention to a lot of news, so I hadn't even heard this until right this second to even know what's going on.
Okay, fair enough. So Bungie, they're known for developing Halo. They're known for partnering with Microsoft back in the very early days and the formation of Xbox, right? Trevor says Sony acquiring Bungie is not even close to Microsoft stuff. Fact, that's ultimately what I was alluding to. The purchase that Microsoft made is far greater than this purchase that Sony made. So Sony purchased Bungie. Bungie went independent years ago, and they also sold the rights to 343 to Halo.
That's who made Halo, right?
Right. So 343 is now the studio that brings us Halo games. Bungie originally did up through Halo 4. They had a partnership with 343 at that time. They handed over the reins, and they moved on. Bungie would move on to then create Destiny. That is their big flagship IP now for their company. They were an independent...
Can you guess a game that I have never played before?
You've never played Destiny. That's fair. That's fine.
Never.
So they would go independent again, and then they're now purchased by Sony, but the game is remaining multi-platform, and it's also free to play on Steam. So for me, I don't think that's a big move for Sony. A lot of people were rejoicing that and saying, oh my God, they answered the call. I don't even think they slightly answered the call in comparison to what Microsoft did with their purchases.
It was probably the one company that said they would sell to them.
Right, which is fine.
I guarantee you that wasn't the only one they called.
No. They were trying... What's funny, too, because the news was like, no, this has been in the works for a while. It's not an answer to Xbox's big purchase. I'm like, that's BS. Even if it was in the works, they had to respond to Microsoft. So.
As soon as that happened, even if they were talking before, they went, okay, how much is it going to cost to make this happen? Because it needs to now.
Yep, they had to rush the move. So, if anything, to get them on a level playing field as far as their services, they need to launch an equivalent of a Game Pass service and have it function just like Xbox does, Xbox Game Pass. They need the PlayStation 1 through 4 library, all the titles that they can get their hands on that they still own at this point, and put it on that service. That is a way for them to clap back. Until then, I don't know any other company that they could make an attempt at purchasing to clap back like that. Unless they were to purchase Sega or hell, even Nintendo, which obviously would never happen. But, like, that's really the only answer. Batman says, we will see. I know they're bringing out something similar to Game Pass. That's what I mean. That's the move they need to make. But will they execute it properly? We'll see. They still have a lot of good games under their umbrella. Sony is still obviously a marketable brand and name, and a lot of people are still buying PlayStation 5s when they can find them. It is outselling the Xbox at this point. But I don't know if that's going to be the outcome at the end of this generation. It's going to be neck and neck, if not having Xbox pass them. Which rightfully so. There's far more to offer on an Xbox platform than there is a Sony platform at this point. Plus, I think Xbox allows you to bring over games from your Xbox One to the X and you have to pay or rebuy it on PS4 or PS5. Yes, some of the titles you have to rebuy for upgrades on the PS5. That is true. You can play the PlayStation 4 versions on the PS5, but some of them have upgrades that are not free. Horizon, the new Horizon, has a free one just because a lot of people saw originally advertised that it was supposed to be free. And then they were like, no, it's going to be like $10. And like, no, you originally said it was going to be free. So they had to go back on that one. So,
yeah, I did like that, when I got my Series X that you and the people from this lovely channel gifted to me. Mm-hmm. That all of my games, I just said download and they went. So that was pretty great.
And it just works, right?
Indeed.
Easy. Super easy. Batman says they've only codenamed it Spartacus. Sometimes it's hard to stick up for them, code names. Yeah, code names aren't always the greatest for gaming platforms. I mean, there's been some ridiculous ones over the years. Mario and Pokemon alone would be game-changing, says Ty. Purchasing Nintendo would be insanity. It's not going to happen, but it's fun to speculate. So I'll propose the same question to Cody and Justin when they get here and see what they have to say. But with that in mind, let's start our first segment. I had to shuffle some things around. We were going to hold this off till later in the episode, but let me throw it up on screen. We'll wait a few moments, and then we'll officially start our first segment here. And all right, our first segment, as you've seen it, is Mortal Kombat, the movie from 2021 review. Now, this was your choice, your segment for this show. And we originally were going to review this a few months back, but due to the updating of this format, it got pushed back until now. But we're here. I've seen this a few times now. How many times have you watched it?
Just the one. It's on the list to rewatch it again.
Okay.
Since it was free on the HBO Plus.
Nice.
But I did. I still think our search is going.
You don't think we found the worst one?
No.
This is not the worst video game film.
Correct.
Is this the best video game film?
It is up there. For what ones that we have reviewed so far.
Okay.
I did definitely on the top end for what we've watched so far.
So, Ty says somebody needs to buy out Game Freak. Orochi says, I like the name Xbox Scorpio. Trevor says, I liked this Mortal Kombat. Ad says, watched it 6 times. A huge improvement on the first 2, but it still has its faults. Trevor says, not even the worst Mortal Kombat. So, yeah, I think this is the best Mortal Kombat film of the ones that they've released, the ones I've seen anyways.
I could go with that. Like I've talked about before, just the nostalgia of the first one will always keep it up there for me.
Yeah.
But in terms of probably if you were just going like straight film critic watching movies, this one would be better.
Yeah, there's a lot of positives to this one, obviously, being that it's 2021 and not 1995. This one, I believe, had a pretty decent budget as well, which helped in the special effects area of this film, which is one of my likes. So I made a list of 3 likes and a dislike. And one of my biggest highlights is indeed the special effects. There are a lot of really unique and cool uses of special effects in this movie. I really liked Sub-Zero and his use of basically making icicles as weapons. I thought that was really cool and clever.
Yeah, I like my just overall take. Some of the things that I liked was it was a different take on Mortal Kombat. It wasn't just straight like people fighting, like they actually made a decent story with it. And you also don't need to know anything about Mortal Kombat, and you could watch this movie and enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you'll have the question of who are those characters and why are they aligned with who, and I think that is one of the faults of the movie. It doesn't elaborate enough on this tournament. It's just like, there's this tournament, and we must get there. Kind of like that part of the story is rushed.
Like, because Amy watched it with me, and she actually really liked this movie. So you don't have to know a lot about what's going on to like enjoy it.
Right. Orochi says, other than the random main character. So correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not up to date on all the Mortal Kombat games, but the main character of the film, he was created for this movie, right? He's not of any of the.
As far as I know, it was a new character.
Ad says Cole. So Cole's the new character. Ad's in chat here says Cole dampened the movie for me, but wasn't terrible. And Kano is the greatest character. So you mentioned that, chat. Kano is the greatest character. I want to mention that also as one of my 3 likes. Kano. Despicable human. Kano. Offensive, repulsive. Just a downright.
He played Kano like perfect for how he is from the games, though.
Right. Like I mean, they were. Ooh, we got a sneezer. You just sneezed all over chat. Yikes!
My bad.
Yikes! But no, they nailed the portrayal of Kano and how despicable he, should be. The actor was great in the role. I think they cast that one spot on. I felt really, really good about his casting.
So I love his casting. It was great. What my one minus I had for the movie was watching it. You knew he was going to betray them from the moment they introduced him as a character. So it was kind of cliche. Like there wasn't any creative writing for that. You knew it was going to happen from the moment that he was introduced.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I think that was the fun of it too, just kind of having that one eye open with him around. You're like, how are they going to convince him to get involved with things? And speaking of character direction or character introduction, his story arc was interesting. Cole's introduction to his character was interesting. Being this washed up or almost even a wannabe MMA fighter that couldn't really make it in the cage fighting. They had a point, too, whether he was this chosen one. Why, if you're so crappy at fighting, obviously the lineage, but, spoiler, why, if you're so crappy at fighting, why should you be the chosen one kind of thing? Justin has arrived. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. What's up?
What is up? We're just talking Mortal Kombat 2021, giving our feedback on that. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, so I watched it when it first came out, and watched it recently here in the last couple of days.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it was good. I wouldn't say it was great, but I mean, I guess my favorite thing was the Shang Tsung. Is the one with the hat, right? No. Is it?
Kung Lao?
Kung Lao has
Kung Lao, yeah, the Kung Lao fatality. Even though it was only 5 seconds of the movie, easily the best part for me.
The one where he saws him in half?
Yeah.
Yeah. Overly violent, and I'm glad they stepped it up, because, that was the thing about the other Mortal Kombat movies. They pulled punches because they wanted to get more butts and seats and make money, whereas this one's no, Mortal Kombat's violent and offensive, and they need to go there.
It'd be rated R, and just went with it.
Yeah, 100%. If you're going to make a Mortal Kombat movie, just make it rated R. Go all in. If it sucks, it sucks, but at least you stayed true to what it is.
Well, part of it is gearing towards your audience. So at the time that they made the first movie, I mean, really, only kids were playing video games.
Well, yeah,
not too many adults.
It was adolescence, right? That was the main consumer base.
So now that we're revisiting this 15, 20 years later from the original movie.
Are you trying to say that the old people like us are into that stuff now?
Well, no, exactly. they're catering to the people that grew up with it, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have the people that have that nostalgia that are going to be the ones watching the movie. And now that we have the permission to watch the gore and the violence, I mean, they said, why not? It's not going to screw up our viewership at all.
Yeah, I let my oldest watch the first one from 95, but he's not watching this new one. There's no way.
No way.
No. To have to explain half the things that happen, man, it's already it's tough trying to get it through to him that the Avengers aren't real. To have to explain Mortal Kombat, so that's just not happening.
Yeah, so my favorite scene was actually the Goro fight scene. When Cole discovers his, whatever they call him in the movie, I forgot, but like his power. That whole scene, because also Goro was one of my favorite characters from the original stuff, so that was pretty cool.
You mentioned the power thing. That's kind of one thing that took me out of the movie, where, like, especially the whole narrative when they're walking to their destination and Kano keeps bugging them, when am I going to get my powers? Like, I don't know. That was weird, and I didn't love that. I feel like they should be gifted already and not, like, unlock their power. It's just weird that it just randomly came.
I thought it was a way of them trying to make it where, like I said, where you didn't have to know beforehand, like, the story, so people could pick it up and watch and be like, oh, they have to develop this.
Right, but there was just such an emphasis on the narrative, and the way he described it was super cheesy, and I didn't like that. I don't know how I would have done it differently, but I didn't like that.
So along those lines, I would say for the established characters, I would say have their powers already kind of built in. They're already established in the canon, you know. Mm-hmm. But with this new one, obviously they're going experimental with this movie and creating a whole new character. I think it's totally fine for him to say, like, learn or come into his power, because at the time you didn't know. But yeah, if it's already established, then it feels like a reach.
Especially with someone like Kano, who should already be established as this horrible, awful person, to have him all of a sudden get this gift and be even more horrible and awful, but then not do anything more with it. Like he
laser eye.
Right, like it's just like, oh, it went from cool to cheesy. Why did you go there? Batman says that we needed more Goro. Ad says Kano calls him Kung Pao. So yeah, we have some racial offensiveness in the movie. Great for representation, by the way. That's the theme of this podcast today. We have racial representation.
But it fits with the character where you're supposed to really dislike that guy. So
right, that's he's true. Doing his job. And it's yeah. Ty says the Avengers aren't real. No, they're not. If Kano already has power, he wouldn't have been captured. I mean, he didn't need to be captured. Then you could have changed the narrative, right? There are other ways to do it. They did it in the other movie. They lured him. You know, he was trying to hunt down. I'm drawing a blank. Sonya. And so like that's how they got him involved on the last one. He followed them into the ship and stuff. You know, onto the island.
So I did. And I gotta call out the opening fight scene with the, like, ancient Sub-Zero versus Scorpion. Mm-hmm. That was a cool way to start the movie. Like, it brought you in right away.
Intro.
So that right there alone, the tone, the look of the movie when it opened, I'm like, this is going to be incredible. This looks big budget. It's properly... how do I want to define this? They gave props to historical, you know, like the ancient civilizations of where this comes from. I don't know how to describe it properly, but they captured that feeling and importance of these characters. And I had really hoped the whole movie would have been shot that way. There was a tonal shift in the movie after that, and I don't know what it was. It was as soon as they went to that cage fight in the introduction of Cole. There was just a tonal shift in the movie. And it only got brought back during the main story arc with Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I thought that was the better, well-done story arc, where I wasn't as interested in a lot of the other characters. Like, Sonya was fine. Kano was the comic relief. Kung Lao was good. I wish they would have done more with him. The villains were awful. Like, it felt like a Power Rangers movie where they just appeared in smoke and kept vanishing and then appearing again, and it was just like, and the bad guys are here, time to fight. And it's like, and their meetings in the mountain, I'm like, this is weird. It's such a, like, they have it so grounded in the beginning, and then it goes supernatural almost with the villain arc. So, I just don't know. And some of the villains, it was like bad cosplay for some of them. So, I don't know.
But with all that, it was great at the same time.
It was. And again, it is the best portrayal of Mortal Kombat that they've done thus far. But it's, I don't know. The villains were the most disappointing part of it to me. I just felt it wasn't executed properly. Besides the main story arc of Scorpion and Sub-Zero, that was executed perfectly. There was a backstory, there was character compassion, there was the lineage, there was the importance value. The rest felt kind of like filler. How do we make this a tournament almost, right? How do we make these people link up and fight? You know, how do we get the importance of Raiden and all these, you know, elements together? Like, it's a good movie, but there's things that they could have done better. Ad says, we need a moment of silence for Natara, the most wasted character in the movie. Ty says, were the villains not villainous enough? No, I don't believe so. I don't think they were. There was never this huge threat other than when they seemed imposing when they apparated, you know, and that was really it for the exchanges for me. So, but Kano is one of my likes. The intro sequence, I can't emphasize enough how good that beginning of the movie was. And the special effects. Again, before you showed up, I said some of the things they did with Sub-Zero with the icicles as daggers.
Dagger.
Like,
yeah, that was cool.
And the MMA cage all frozen and just some of the set pieces there. That was cool. And then some of the set pieces that look like stages, the way they shot the wide angle. So the side perspective of some of the fights, especially with Jax. You know, some of that stuff was cool.
Yeah.
But
so again, I'm pretty sure this is not the worst video game movie.
no, this is by far not the worst video game movie. I wouldn't put it in the top or the low 5, if you will. This was well done. Is it my favorite video game movie? I don't think so, but it was fun. It was what Mortal Kombat needed to be. And I think with the sequel, they can improve upon what they've established.
Yeah.
So this is one just... Yeah, I was going to say just not just for nostalgia's sake, but everybody needs to see it if you're into anything like this.
Oh, 100%.
Not like the old ones where it was just for nostalgia. You need to see it. Like this one's actually good.
I think you should go see the one from 95 as well. You can skip Annihilation, but
yes,
see the 95
As much
one.
as I still watch Annihilation and just for nostalgia, I like it. It's a bad movie, though. You can skip it. It's not good.
It's really bad. Orochi says they really need to decide which is the bad guy, Scorpion or Sub-Zero, because a lot of the Mortal Kombat keep switching around. You know, here's the thing. Like they definitely portrayed Sub-Zero as the villain in this one. There's no question about it. For what he did, you know, awful. He murdered a family. Like that's the worst crime. So, it's very definitive that Sub-Zero is the villain here. But yes, I've seen it where both are villains. I've seen it where one or the other is villains. I don't think I've ever seen it where they're both good. Ad says if the sequel
I
gives
kind of
us
like that they
Kintaro-
took Sub-Zero, because usually, like, you take the fire guy and make him the bad guy, so it's kind of nice that they didn't do the obvious.
I still love the use of the hook, especially when they set it up in the beginning, too. You're like, oh, okay, I know who you're going to be. So, and then they get over here. Like, the classic stuff. They kept some of that stuff. They kept the Mortal Kombat, like, theme involved in it. Like, there were a lot of nods to the source material from the original movie. So, like, it gave this series love, but like you had said, Justin, kind of try to reinvent stuff too and approach it in a new light. So, and again, I think they did a great job, but I'm hopeful for an improved upon sequel and a more menacing story arc from the expanded villain cast to make them more important.
Yeah, story-wise, it was lacking. I mean, it was creative, but some of the characters were lacking as far as development or as far as you really being invested in them. But special effects-wise, it was great.
Ad says he is more Hanzo than Scorpion. Yeah, true. It's true, the portrayal of especially at the ending. Thunderbird says, so I haven't seen it. I know I'm a terrible person. I'm really behind on movies. There's nothing wrong with that. I haven't seen half the TV shows that people tell me to see, so hey, I'm right there with you. But it's like a lineage of characters passed down the bloodlines because I thought that would have been a cool approach. So yeah, I mean, that's basically what the main character is, Cole, the introduced character. He's the lineage of the intro sequence. Do yourself a favor, Thunder.
How vascular I am.
Check this one out.
If there's one thing women love, it's a vascular man.
Jolly says
Worth watching.
vascular.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. So I had a question to open up the show. I want to propose this question to you, Justin. On our last podcast, we talked about Microsoft's
Bang, bang.
acquiring Activision Blizzard, right?
Yep.
I'm sure you've seen and heard and read Sony's acquirement as a clapback at that of Bungie
Yep.
for $3-point-something billion.
Billion. Yeah.
Compared to the almost $70 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard, which in my opinion is a better purchase for Microsoft. But I just kind of wanted to have you give us your thoughts. Like, do you care? Like, is this a deal to you? Because I don't even think you play Destiny, do you?
No, I mean, for me, it's really a non-factor. I mean, I had a PS3, and after that, kind of stuck with Xbox. I mean, they have some great individual titles, but them acquiring Bungie, it's not really anything for me to go, oh, I really need to get PlayStation now. I'll stick with Xbox, and as long as they don't jack up the prices too badly. But for me, it was just kind of like, oh yeah. I mean, I think their stock took a pretty big tank after that Xbox announcement was made. So I'm sure they're just trying to recoup those losses as a result. But yeah, for me, it wasn't much.
So I know there's a big install base. Destiny is a popular game. I have to give it props for that. There is a community that plays that game. The game's free to play on Steam, though. They've confirmed that it's going to remain multi-platform. So what kind of profit margins and what is the benefit really of this purchase then?
I can say they bought it.
Yeah,
right.
Future developments, really, that's about it.
Sure, but they're going to remain multi-platform. So...
Right. Oh, I'm just saying, the existing games, right? You're saying it would remain multi-platform, but new. Yeah. Oh wow. I don't know. Then you got me.
Because Bungie obviously wants to continue their install base of their games to be successful, and even Xbox has confirmed with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard that they're going to do their best to keep Call of Duty and other games under that umbrella multi-platform. Which they know, to maximize revenue, you want the bigger install base. Throw it on as many platforms as you can, but you're still going to get dividends from this, install base. So Bungie knows this. Sony, I mean, maybe that's why they're capitalizing on it. Because again, Destiny is a popular game, but I don't think it's one of the top 5 shooters anymore. I could be wrong. I haven't looked up specific data on that, but I just don't hear as much as I did years ago with it compared to things like Apex, Fortnite, COD. I was going to say Battlefield, but not so much. Halo making a huge comeback, which they desperately need to put out new content because their numbers are starting to fall off. Mm-hmm. So, but
I think it comes down to, I mean, maybe there's some sort of DLC angle that I'm not seeing because, I mean, if you're acquiring Bungie for that amount, and like you said, if Destiny's a free game, then their DLC purchases have got to be off the charts to make it worth it.
Well, that's the thing. They do seasons like everything else, and it's usually like $25, $35 for a next season, and it ups what they called, I think, light. So you like increase your level cap. It has new raids and stuff like that, and a new story arc. I don't know. I got burned out in the loot grind of that game. It wasn't for me. So to me, it's not a big deal either. So who knows? It could be a big deal for somebody else out there. But I think it's there.
Who's the PlayStation guy in chat? Let us know if it's a big deal.
I don't think we have many because a lot of our channels run on Xbox. I think Batman's one of the few that has PlayStation besides Trevor, and that might be it. Others might play on the PlayStation, but they're not as vocal about it. If they do, most of our people here are Xbox people. So, but it'd be interesting to see. So I just wanted to pick your brain on that. We'll ask Cody that question too when he ends up joining us. He said he'll be here close to 9, so we got another 20 minutes or so. Trevor says, I played Destiny 1 and 2, not a game I care about. And that's the thing. I tried it. I gave both games a try. Hell, I even bought a custom PS4 when I first got my PS4. I got the white one that came with Destiny because I was going to be all about it. I'm like, Bungie, Justin, we know their history. You know, it was a huge promise of a game, and it didn't deliver, you know, for the first however long. So
yeah, several months, I believe.
Yeah. So, Roshi says we don't talk about the evil Sony company. Sorry, I'll stop. Thunder says, growing up, I was a diehard PlayStation until I started repairing PS2 and the original Xbox. Yeah, you know, I've enjoyed both consoles for various reasons. I favor the Xbox over PlayStation just because of the services and the online. Sony had a lot of games that I could only play on their platforms, so I appreciate it for that. If it wasn't for the PS1 and me and iRob, we probably wouldn't have our show on Thursday nights called NAW because that got started with him and I in his basement on the PS1. So
I was diehard PlayStation through, and that's going to sound super, but PS2, like, so original Xbox had no interest in it. And then from there, I just feel like Xbox has been the superior system.
It was Xbox Live and Halo that changed everything for a lot of us, I think. So it was just the fun community game to hop out with your friends, and it's accessible and it's fun. It had game modes that other games didn't have. It had good variety. If you got bored,
I didn't own an original Xbox. I never have.
You should get one. It's an awesome system. I mean, there's no need to with backwards compatible, but
I had yours for a while because you didn't use it.
That's true. Yeah, you had that for a while. But with backwards compatible, there's no need unless you really want to experience the Duke, that old big controller. But yeah, so final consensus, though, closing out our Mortal Kombat segment. I think it's a must-see. Do I think it's a perfect film? No. But I think as far as video game films are concerned, I think it's a must-see. What do you guys think? Closing thoughts?
I would agree. For anybody that's like us, like in the nerd realm, if you will, that are into Mortal Kombat, it hits everything you need. And if you have someone with you, like I said, Amy watched it with me who couldn't care less about any Mortal Kombat history. She actually still liked the movie. So,
yeah, I mean, for me, I wouldn't say it's a must-see. I would say if you do see it, you're not going to be disappointed. But I wouldn't say it's one you have to go out and see. So, just a little differing opinion, but yeah, it was good. I don't regret watching it, and I mean, I would watch it again, but I wouldn't say, oh, you got to check this one out. But it was good.
That's fair. That's fair. So that concludes our first segment of our episode 137 here. We're going to shift over to our second segment, which is going to now be our music segment featuring Love and Other Lies EP by Charlotte Sands. That's pronounced correctly, right?
Yep.
Okay, so stick with us. We'll be right back in just a second. All right, and we are back with our next segment here. We're talking Charlotte Sands' latest EP, known as Love and Other Lies, as part of our episode 137 podcast called The Dosage here. Live with iRob, live with Justin. Welcome back, guys. How you guys doing tonight?
Good now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Way different than I was 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, same. Emma says, hola. Ty says, music, music, music. Emma has arrived. Orochi liked the PS up to PS2, then after that, they switched to the 360. So we were talking gaming. We got more gaming talking in our main theme here later on tonight. I'm excited to share some of that stuff with you. But first, let's talk music. So, Justin, you picked this album for us to discuss. Tell us a little bit about this artist and the background and why you decided this was the album to talk about this month.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was looking at new stuff that was coming out, and I think it had popped up on my release radar through Spotify. So she was featured in a song with Taking Back Sunday in the main called Love You a Little, which is not on this album. But I was just, when I heard it, I was just thinking, I should really just, and I do that a lot, where if I see multiple artists are featured in a song, I just check into them a little further. And I looked into her further and noticed that she released an EP like maybe a few days before that or a week before I had found that song. And I was like, wow, she's put new stuff out there. And kind of in that pop, kind of alt pop range. We haven't really done one that's, I would say, this poppy before. So I just thought it was just a different take. And she's kind of an up and coming artist, obviously still releasing EPs. So no like full length album yet, so I just thought it would be interesting to do that take. And one of her songs is very topical with this theme of inclusion.
You know, it's funny too. Was that intentional or accidental?
So honestly, it was accidental at first, because it was just one that I before you even mentioned the theme, I believe I had just put that out there, and then you said, well, our theme's going to be this, and I went, well, that works out excellent. So yeah, it was meant to be.
I wanted to really challenge us on this theme too, because I couldn't decide, to be fully honest. February, love stories, but on the other hand, it's like, well, it's a great month too to showcase representation and things, because they only are getting like properly, I guess, that month when it should be all year, but that's another soapbox. But at least something, right? So I wanted to have us bring this up, and representation goes on many different levels, of course. It's not just skin color or things like that. There's various elements of representation. So I'm curious too on your thoughts, and then you too, iRob. This is out of the element for genre for you.
Yes. So I can go into. I did take the time and listen to the entire 35 minutes of this EP.
35.
What?
I thought it was only like 20 minutes long.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
I'm like, wait, did I review the right one?
So just my take on just general her lyrical writing. If you actually like sit down and like, I had mine up so I could read the lyrics while she was saying it. It's actually really good writing. Like, the lyrics in the songs are really well written. And then my thing was like, this is definitely not in my alley. If you would give me, I would never have listened to this. But it's not bad. Like, it's not bad. I can appreciate a lot of different stuff, and I can tell you after it on there, I kept 3 of the songs on my phone. So
wow, okay,
pretty good. It's pretty good odds for an EP.
Yeah, there's 7 tracks on this, I think.
Yeah, so 3 out of the 7 passed the cut and didn't get deleted back off the phone.
Okay. Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's doing better than some of the CDs that I like. So there you go.
My man said CDs. You could tell our age now.
Oh, bad. No, nobody buys CDs anymore. You just buy singles. So there
That's
you go.
true.
I just stream everything. I don't buy anything.
Yeah, I stream it. Yeah, I don't purchase anymore. I pay for a subscription. But yeah, I mean, I also I did 3 songs I liked, and then I picked out a dislike from this one too. Out of curiosity, what were the 3 songs then, Rob?
So my favorite song on it was "Every Guy Ever." It's just straight like pop punky, so I kind of like goes a little more into rockish, like old Blink kind of ish.
Mm-hmm.
vibe for it, so I like that one. My second favorite was actually the title track, "The Love and Other Lies." Just kind of acoustic and soft, and the lyrics in it are really good. Like if you listen to it. And then the last one that passed it was a "Bad Day," and that was just it's super catchy, like almost annoyingly catchy, but it made it pass, so it's in there.
Okay. I was just curious. Any one that you just would skip over? I know you said you removed 4, but like, what's the one you would just like?
The only one, and like I said, a lot of them were okay, but track number 4, the "Dress," literally my only comment on it was meh.
Okay.
Like, so that was the worst of it. But like I said, none of it was horrible. If it like it, my way I described it, and because Amy sits in the same room with me when I'm doing a lot of this, was it something she would like, and if she put it on in the car, I wouldn't tell her to turn it off. So,
okay, fair. I knew too when if you were going to listen to it, even I knew I was like, this is not an iRob album. This is not. So I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you took the time. I'm impressed that you enjoyed some of it. So that's okay. I'm surprised.
Like I said, it's not bad. The best I can say is that, like, I definitely, if it would have been just me perusing stuff, never would have popped on the radar for anything. But I'm not disappointed in it. Like, I don't feel like I wasted a half hour of my life. So.
Okay, fair. I listened to it a few times. I even hooked it up to my drums and I played along with some of it because, as you mentioned, the pop punk and the pop beats, it's fun to play along on drums. So I enjoyed a lot of the stuff for that. Despite enjoying a lot of it, one of the tracks you liked, the title track, "Love and Other Lies," I didn't like that one. I found that one boring. Lyrically fine, and I get that it's a meaningful track and the pains of growing up, right? And the stuff that you go through. To me, that's what the lyrics meant. Maybe my interpretation's off, but sometimes it can be subjective, obviously, too. But that's how I got out of it. But the song was boring to me, and that's fine. It fits what they were trying to say, I guess, if you will. The lyrics.
So you think they were aiming to make a boring song? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I think sometimes subtlety and acoustic portrays a specific message. We've talked about on the music podcast before where sometimes you can write this crazy happy upbeat song but have it be about terrible things. And sometimes you can be surprised by that. But this one is fitting of the nature of the music. The lyrics match the tone is more so what I'm implying here. And while it's fine, the lyrics are stronger than the song itself was. And that's why if I were to dislike anything off the album, which there's not much to dislike in all honesty, that's something I would have to pick as a dislike. So that's almost saying I'm praising this entire EP, if you will. I did like Dress. You said you didn't like Dress. I thought it was a really addicting groove to it. I thought it was fun. The only thing I could critique on it was the lyrics on this, while strong in other tracks, were somewhat generic for this one. But Dress was fun. Great groove to it. Every Guy Ever was fantastic. Probably the standout on the album. Great pop song, upbeat, variety to it. Lyrically probably accurate. We're men here. I don't know. You tell me if I'm wrong. But the lines...
Let's just be honest. It's fine.
I'm quoting... He'll be mad the second that he don't know where you are, but he'll make out with a girl in the back of a bar, but he says you're a mess when you're sleeping around, manipulating bullshit. Obviously not in the same pentameter as the song itself. Let her do it best. But I thought that was clever, and like, it's probably accurate. Let's just throw that out there. It's probably accurate.
Well, you brought it up, and I said it like, the lyrics that she wrote in it, like almost every song, it's like well written. Like it's not just generic what you normally see for pop stuff where somebody wrote and they just repeat the same 5 words for 2.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, she tells a great story with the tracks, and the Every Guy Ever was a standout. Another standout for me was the other one I wanted to highlight before we'll shift it over to the man that picked the album. Bad Day. Like the line, the world is ending, but at least I'm trending. I thought that was kind of a unique take on things. Fun song explaining having a bad day. And remember what I said about upbeat, happy song? Well, lyrically, this one isn't the happiest of songs, hence the title of it, Bad Day, right? You wouldn't think it'd be like, yay, bad day. But there is a sense of sarcasm on it, which I enjoyed too. Justin is a aficionado of sarcasm, so I'm sure he appreciated it as well. And there's even this like trap music, like hip hop section breakdown, just for like a split second. It goes into this little break. And then ultimately, depression's a bitch. That's really to talk about the conclusion of this song. But Bad Day is another fun one. So Every Guy Ever and Bad Day, to me, the top standout tracks. Dress was also fun. But overall, if you got 20 minutes, listen to this album. Truly. Charlotte Sands, Love and Other Lies.
I just want to point out, like, for us, we each picked 3, and 2 out of 3 for each of us are the same. And then each song that we didn't like, the other person did.
Well, right. We're each going to have different tastes. I'm surprised you liked anything, so I'm just throwing that out there again.
Yeah, right. That's pretty good.
Well, Justin, I'm curious. You picked it.
All right. I'm hopping aboard the train here. Love and Other Lies. Not a big fan.
What?
So, that track.
Okay, I thought you meant the album. I'm like, wait a second. You can't do that. You got to specify.
Like Rob said. So, lyrically, it's a great song. But compared to the rest of it, where they're all kind of catchy or upbeat or, it just, it was a little boring, like you said. That's all I can really say. So that would be my one really skip this of the album. As far as favorites, Bad Day, as you mentioned, as you both mentioned, and then Every Guy Ever, you both mentioned. So what I do have that you both didn't have is I Want You Like That. Really like that song, really catchy. Again, just I think that was one that popped up on my release radar too, and that kind of made me look into her some more.
What track number was that? Sorry to cut you off. Was it the first one? Okay, because I originally, if it was the first track, I originally had that on my top 3, and then I bumped it for Dress.
Bumped it.
Because I liked Dress just a little more because it was a little different than Every Guy Ever and Bad Day, and I didn't want to be like samesies. I like it all for the same reasons, so I wanted a sense of variety. Go on, though. Sorry. Yeah,
so then, like you said, with Dress. So, along the topic of inclusion, so this basically was a song, just to give you some background, was a song that she wrote based on the fact that she saw Harry Styles on the cover of a magazine wearing a dress. It's that straightforward. She's just basically explaining, I don't know why I'm attracted to you in a dress and with your fingernails painted, but I'm into it. And, in the world we live in today, where that's more open and accepted, she basically wrote a song about that, about a guy wearing a dress and why she's just drawn to that. And as far as her, like Gen Z fan base, and like early millennial, seem to be the people that are kind of on board with this. She got a lot of flack for writing that song because, people think it's promoting the wrong things, when really it's just, around that topic of inclusion of, this is what I'm seeing. For some reason, I'm attracted to it. I'm going to write a song about it. And she got a lot of support from a lot of people that she wasn't expecting. She kind of wrote it on a whim.
Soapbox moment. If that offends you, you're a freaking idiot. So there you go.
No. I mean, everyone has a right to their own. We got Ty here with the screen. Everyone has a right to their own opinions. Does not make them right, though. So we got to have inclusion on all grounds that everyone can be included with their opinions. They just will ultimately look a certain way because of them. So we can't.
I don't have to say I like it.
We can't be hypocritical now. We're praising inclusion. We're going to include them too. But again, we don't have to agree or even give it substantial support by any means.
Trev's the moderator.
Let's keep this thing focused. You get 2 minutes now.
So Dress was one of my top tracks as well. So I know I listed 4 there. But still, I really enjoyed it. I was surprised to find that I enjoyed as much of it because, when I first heard it, I was thinking, this is kind of giving me early Paramore vibes. And It's just, and then, but a little more poppy, and I like pop, I like rock, I love punk, and I mean, it's all of that. There are some, like you said, more songs that sound more pop punk to the point where you wanted to drum along to them. I mean, I think that says a lot. So, yeah, it's just a really solid EP, and I look forward to her putting out more stuff and seeing lyrically what she can put out there, because it's not just manufactured stuff just to make a radio hit.
It didn't sound the cookie cutter formula for radio stuff. I liked that it wasn't trying to be another band out there. And my understanding is she a solo act and she just has a studio band behind her. Like, who does the instruments, I guess, because anything I've seen is just been her.
She has a solo. Yeah, she has a solo act. I know she's currently touring with Young Blood, so I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or not. But similar kind of style of music, but more kind of rap, punk, rock kind of mix in there.
You say she's touring with Young Blood?
Yes.
Is she a UK act then?
No.
Where?
She is Boston.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because Young Blood is
I think it's either Boston or Cleveland, but it's definitely like Midwest, East Coast.
Okay.
But yeah, I know for a fact it's U.S.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, because he's the UK act. I am familiar with him. I've checked out a lot of his stuff. He's done a lot of collaborations with so many artists, including MGK, Bring Me the Horizon. I mean, the list goes on. The dude's collaborated with so many people now.
It's kind of a modern face for that style now.
Yeah, and he's all over the place, too, for his own style. Hopefully, we can come across one of his albums one time to review, because I'd love to check out more with more reason and then share that with you guys, too. But ultimately, that's your call. You'll be doing obviously our next pick every month. So, man, you found a good one here. So this... I don't have a final score for it. We're the formalities of our old format or anything, but I have the heavy recommendation of you should check this out. Again, it's 20 some odd minutes. Like, if you don't have 20 minutes to listen to an album, like, you could throw that on and when you drive to the gas station and listen to this album. So,
yeah. I mean, Rob saved 3 songs.
For me, it's not even like I said. If I was been looking through to pick stuff out, never would have picked it up. But actually, it was good. Like, enjoyed it.
Yeah, spot on stuff. Any other thoughts? Do you have something lined up for our next one? Do you want to give us a hint, or do you?
No, I don't have one lined up yet, but I will. I'll be looking to see what's coming out, because, I mean, yeah, there seems to be kind of a resurgence lately of bands putting out albums over the last couple months. Now that we're, now people are like starting to tour again and create new music. Now that COVID cases are hopefully going down, and tours are getting rescheduled.
And everything that they recorded when they couldn't do anything else.
I was going to say they had time to not tour and focus on writing. So hopefully this next year, we're starting to see it. Hopefully that means this next year or two, we're going to have some amazing tours and amazing albums coming out, because people had probably literally nothing to do but focus on content writing. And sometimes when you're on the road and doing all that stuff, you're pressured into that next album, that follow-up hit. And it's generally not as good as that first one that you might have done. So hopefully the focus is here, and we're going to see that on these albums.
Yeah, and we don't get the garbage of, like, songs where you say you're going to beat up Pete Davidson, that kind of stuff.
Who's releasing? Is that Kanye? Or no, is it, what is his name, Ye now? It's just Ye, right?
I don't know.
I can't keep up with Kanye. That's your next show.
I just saw, a video of someone going, like, really? You went from, putting out this quality stuff? Because, I mean, his early stuff is great. Like, he's got some good stuff early on. Very, very good at the time. But now it's like, these are the new tracks you're putting out? Like, ooh.
I mean, you can only create gold for so long.
Pete Davidson exactly what he wants. He wants to just piss people off.
Yeah.
So
what does Pete Davidson do? Who is Pete Davidson? I've seen him. Obviously, he's done this stuff.
SNL.
Okay. Because I know he's done this stuff with, like, he hosted with Miley Cyrus at
He's
New
the guy with
Year's.
the dyed blonde hair.
I know who
yeah,
he
that
is.
guy.
Yeah, I just don't know what he does. Like, why is he famous? So SNL makes sense.
Because he pisses people off, so they write diss tracks about him, and then he gets more money because people know his name.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a hard time keeping up or giving a shit about a lot of these celebrities, to be honest with you. So the older you get, the less shit you give about these people, especially because they're half your age. So, like,
Except for Kanye.
well, but I mean, he's not even really relevant. He's relevant with what he did back then, but, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's wild. You know, here's the thing. Like, they want more money, set up the next celebrity boxing fight between these two, and then somebody take a dive, and everybody tunes in, and then they all get paid. It's just the circle of fandom. Like, we've seen it for years. Every washed-up celebrity eventually goes on a reality show or fights somebody, and then they get paid. And then they fade away into obscurity. Like, it's just the circle.
And you just, do that sign.
Right. And it's done. Jesus. Batman says it's the Fifth Doctor. He says, oh, that's Peter Davidson. I've seen one episode. This is going to piss off some people, but I've seen one episode of Doctor Who in my life.
Hey, you want to know something?
You've never seen it.
You've seen one more episode than I
Yeah,
have.
I kind of figured that's where we're going. Justin, have you watched it? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
No.
It's just I didn't think it's a thing for me. People
I've
like
been
it.
knee deep in The Expanse.
Oh, I've wanted to watch that. Is that good?
Oh, I've been watching it for like literally months now because I started season 1 and it's through season 6,
Oh,
and they're
yikes.
45-minute episodes. So
Yeah. What's that on?
It's excellent. Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I just got to season 6, so
Okay.
I'm almost done. But
I'll have to
Man,
bug
if you-
Andrea's mom. She has Amazon Prime, so
it's really good.
I just started rewatching, and I haven't rewatched it in probably 8 or 9 years.
All that stuff you order off the internet and you don't have Amazon Prime?
Dude, I've had to cancel so many things lately for budget reasons. So, but yeah, I don't have HBO anymore. I don't have Netflix anymore. But I just restarted watching Lost again, and immediately wanted to like message you and conspiracy theory it all up again. Like, so.
Oh man, went way too deep into that.
You want to know how many episodes I've watched from beginning to end of Lost?
I had you watch some of it. Don't you say 0?
Okay, how many do I remember?
Probably none.
I know you're into it. I just TV, like, I never got big into any TV shows.
I don't get into a lot of TV either, but Lost, I mean, that was a cultural phenomenon. Like, you can't recreate that time period again. That wait from week to week to unveil, then the season to season. You can't recreate that again. Like, no show can do that.
Game of
Last
Thrones
TV
got
show-
close.
They got
Watched all
close,
the way
yeah.
through.
That's it.
Firefly. There you go. That was the last TV show I watched all the way through.
Lana says, all jokes aside, I feel bad for Kanye. He needs help, and I hope he gets it. Yes, facts. If you need help or you know somebody that needs help, make sure they get it or find ways to. Please, it's serious. Ty says, Kanye West boxing and some weird bag on his head that he deems high fashion is some Black Mirror stuff that I could see happening. Yeah, if anyone could pull it off, it'd be Kanye. Batman says, Rob, I knew that was coming. And Thunderbird said, Lost was great show until... ... Till what?
Writer's strike.
That didn't help the show. No, that did not help the show. It hurt a lot of things. And I think ultimately they had a direction for a story arc, and they didn't think it all the way through. And it shows...
They didn't get the time from ABC that they needed.
No, they didn't. It got rushed to end in season 6 when it needed one more season.
At least.
So, yeah. I don't know. Still one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show of all time. As far as, like, dramas, if you will. We could do a whole podcast series on that, but that's another...
So it's funny you mentioned that. If I don't know how far into it you are now, but I was watching The Expanse, and I've seen people, I'm like, oh, I know him from something. Oh, he was the Dharma Initiative guy. The guy from the videos.
Yeah.
The Korean doctor, I believe, talking about. And then Julia? Or, can't think, the blonde.
Hurley's girlfriend. No, that was
No.
somebody else. Julia was the doctor.
Yes, yeah. So she's in it too. So I'm like,
the other love
it's
interest.
just weird to have these lost flashbacks. I'm like, what have you done since? I look them up on IMDb, and I'm like, oh, not much, or a lot of small roles here.
Yeah, I
and
was
there.
to say a lot of them have been in other TV shows or other small things that got canceled or didn't do well, small bit roles. Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but I mean, and then you had what's her name, Wasp from Ant-Man and Wasp, like she's done really well. So, which is surprising.
You don't remember her name?
What?
You don't remember her name?
I don't remember her. What? It's Kate.
Isn't it Evangeline Lilly?
Evangeline Lilly, thank you. Yeah, it's Kate in the show. I'm terrible with names. I'll forget forever. But yeah, if you guys
don't ask me why I remember that one, but it's in my brain. I don't know.
I mean, I'll never forget her face. I mean that all sincerity. Like, I don't mean that weird. Like,
it got
real weird. Anyways, love stories, right? That's the theme. So we're waiting on Cody. He's part of our final segment. Before we transition to that, Justin, I doubt it, but maybe did you watch the Elimination Chamber?
No, I mean, if it was that difficult for Rob to locate, then I wasn't even going to try it.
It's not that hard.
It was the first thing under Elimination Chamber.
Oh, was it?
But because when you watch them on Peacock, they don't put the years until you start the show.
Right.
It just puts a in episode 1. You're like, well, that doesn't help me. Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been my biggest critique since they moved from WWE Network to Peacock is that because it's a television company, they put everything in season placeholders. Like, that's their filter. When, yes, WWE is seasoned, like this is season blah, blah, blah on a network perspective. For fans, we want to search by year. We don't know that 93 was season 1 of Raw. We want to go back to 93. You know, like if we want to find something in 99, we want to just search 99, not, well, shit, what is that? Season 6? Season 7? Like, I don't know. I just want to watch The Rock and Mankind from 1999. So
we were trying to do 2017, so I didn't think it would be the first one.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, I didn't start there. I went and I was, like, going back, and it got towards the first. I was like, oh, hey, there's 2017.
It's not though. It's like season 7 or 8 or something when you filter.
That's what I mean, but when you, like, if you just go in Peacock and cycle down to Elimination Chamber, it had Elimination Chamber matches. It was the first one was Elimination Chamber from 2017.
Right, when you filter it that way, yeah, that makes sense. Cody has arrived just in time for the segment we're talking about, so we're going to shift over, if you're ready, for our Chamber segment. So give me a second here, and we'll set that up. And we are back with our segment from episode 137 of the Dosage Podcast here with Rob, Justin, and Cody. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
What's up? So, Cody, I presented a question to them as they arrived tonight for their segments. I'm going to present it to you. Our last opening segment, we talked about Microsoft acquiring Blizzard and Activision. Sony clapped back recently after that podcast and purchased Bungie. Are you familiar with this? What's your take on it? What do you got? He's muted. We can't hear any of your take.
Oh!
Now he's really loud.
There's a button. There's a button I didn't press. I think it's a pretty weak clapback. I mean, Bungie really hasn't been really relevant since Halo, and now they don't have Halo, so it's kind of not great.
So, additional information on that. Bungie has confirmed that their game will remain multi-platform and it is available for free on Steam. So is this even worse of a situation for the purchase than from Sony, or is this good?
I don't think it really matters, honestly.
No? Okay, just curious your thoughts. Any other, like, do you play Destiny?
A little bit, I did, but not a huge Destiny. I mean, it has its fan base.
It does. Okay.
Is that fan base worth what, like they say, almost $4 billion?
Definitely not worth $4 billion, but
No.
and they lost some people when they made Destiny 2. There was a big jump from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. So,
they lost
I don't think it's a great move.
Yeah. Not a good move, but we'll see. Time will tell. Who knows? Maybe all of a sudden they make just Destiny 3 and it's just this greatest game of all time. I don't think so, but who knows, right? You never know. But let's get on to our Elimination Chamber segment. This was, of course, selected by you, Cody. Elimination Chamber 2017. We got one thing to play, though, right before we do that.
The following announcement has been paid for by the...
The NOW, Nerds of Wrestling, back for this segment here. One night only. So, what made you pick this pay-per-view out of all the ones you could have selected from any company out there? Why Chamber 2017?
Well, I felt like we needed to get in the Chamber mood, considering WWE's having their Chamber on the 19th in Saudi Arabia.
Speaking of, did you see it starts at 11 a.m. for us this Saturday?
Yeah. I work Saturday mornings, so that doesn't help me.
Nope.
It's better than them doing it on, what, a Thursday like they normally do?
Yeah, generally it has been on Thursdays in the afternoon, which I try to watch it while working, and that doesn't work well.
Yeah. But, I mean, Elimination Chamber's coming up. I figured we might as well just stay on par for what we're doing. We did Royal Rumble for the month of Royal Rumble, or do Elimination Chamber now, and next month maybe force over to like a fast lane or something and go on to a WrestleMania after that. So I figured it was the smart thing to do, and this is one of my favorite recent Elimination Chambers. Really three matches on this card were very top tier in my mind, so I enjoy this card.
So, little thing to note too, I don't know if you had it in your notes, this was the first pay-per-view with the redesigned, updated Elimination Chamber. So that was a big thing, and JBL even flubbed the lines.
They mentioned it a lot.
Say that again?
They mentioned that a lot.
They did. They love to emphasize that. They love to emphasize the statistics of the match itself. They love to talk about the structure. JBL got corrected, and I could tell he got yelled at in his headphones from someone backstage when he said the weight of the chamber being wrong, and then he's like, I'm sorry, 10 tons of steel. So he got yelled at in his ear, because WWE is notorious for that. They're always yelling in their commentary people's ears during shows to say the correct thing, which, I mean, if you got to get statistics out there, you want to be consistent and accurate, but numerous commentary people over the years have complained that they get yelled at during shows in their ear. Some people can handle criticism and critique, some others can't. And that's just kind of been a constant as far as the commentary crews through the years. That's
vintage right there.
It is vintage. That's Vince being controlling of his product, because in my opinion, he is a fantastic commentator. But that is my opinion. Anyways, let's keep going here. Go to what other things that you thought were... You said 3 matches were really good?
Yeah, I mean, really, really 3. I really enjoyed the tag team turmoil match. I felt like it was very back and forth. It definitely was a long match, but it played a good story with a bunch of different tag teams. I enjoyed it. American Alpha ended up coming out with the win. I really enjoyed Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. Rest in peace.
Yeah, really underrated when he was in WWE.
Yeah, and that story, even before this, like just the build to this and then the build to Mania, is one of my favorite storyline builds like that WWE has ever done, with Randy Orton breaking down the Wyatt family from inside and everything like that leading up till WrestleMania. This is after Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble, so we don't know who he's going up against. He's going to go up against the winner of the Elimination Chamber match later in the night. But Luke Harper was not trustworthy of him at this point. And he got kicked from the Wyatt family, and this was his kind of redemption match. But it was a really good match, and it really showcased how good Luke Harper actually was, even as a singles competitor. And then the third match has to be the Elimination Chamber match. John Cena coming in as the champion. AJ Styles was just a champion at the Royal Rumble. He lost it at the Royal Rumble to John Cena, and he had tons of momentum going into that. Baron Corbin is at the biggest time in his career. You have Dean Ambrose and The Miz. Dean was a champion right before AJ Styles. Miz, we know how great he is, and he was the Intercontinental Champion at this time. And then Bray Wyatt, who was the kind of outcast of the match, but ended up coming in there and winning the match, which was something nobody really saw coming.
So, looking back in some of these character designs, like Dean Ambrose wearing the IC belt and his jeans and like black tank top, looking like trash.
That's how he was after the Shield.
I know he was, but I'm just like, when I think of the IC belt, I think of like
they had him wearing the white tank top that was stained yellow.
Well, yeah, I think of
Luke Harper.
Well,
No, they had Ambrose did it for a time too.
Oh yeah, I know Luke Harper did it because he was forced to, and he used to say he would wear the tank tops to the gym and everything else, get them real dirty on purpose, and then he would wear them in the ring as this mess of a tank top.
I just think of the prestige of the IC belt. I think of class. Like the Miz carried that belt very well. To see that pretty white belt on trashy Dean Ambrose, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but you didn't and still don't like him. So
no, I don't care for him. I'm glad he got help and went through rehab, but.
Well, I mean, leaning forward here, Shinsuke Nakamura has had the title for how long, and he's only defended it 4 times, all on TV. Well, no pay-per-views.
Spoiler: he loses it Friday.
Well, yeah, he loses it. We know that from the dirt sheets, but he's the longest reigning Intercontinental Championship of this era.
Here's the thing, and I know you'll say Kenny Omega, but here's the thing: he's been injured throughout a good chunk of this reign too. They've been sitting him on the sidelines. So yeah, it's unfortunate his reign has been diminished and set to the sidelines when
that's not an excuse for the U.S. title either, though. And it's been the same.
It's not, but that's the problem with too many belts, right? They're not doing things they should be doing with them. Like these should be opportunities to showcase, hey, will these people be good champs? Should we give them a shot at the main belt? Let's see how they carry a mid-card title. That's the testing ground. That's the proving ground. And a lot of times you see that. We saw that in the old days. We saw that with Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold, Triple H, all of them went through The Rock. All of them went through the IC belt. Cena with the U.S. title.
Seeing that 5 to 10 years ago. We're just not seeing it.
But that's what I'm saying. We're not seeing it now. It's the problem with too many belts.
Haven't seen it in a couple of years.
It's the problem with split roster and too many belts. So it can be easily fixed.
Well, we talked about. I did actually watch it, and I agree with 2 of the matches that Cody had brought up for highlights. For me, the tag team gauntlet match, whatever you call it, was just boring. It just went on way too long, and
I can see that.
I miss Jason Jordan. He should have been a thing. Sucks he got hurt.
My third match that I would put in there, though, was actually the Becky and Mickie James match. That was actually a very good match. They put on a good show.
It was a good opener. I'd forgotten about the La Luchadora storyline. I'm glad that they recapped that during the show.
Yeah.
I thought that was clever to bring her back. It's crazy, too, that it was only 5 years that she had come back after all those years' absence. And what she accomplished in her run, unfortunately, how she was treated with her exit, and then her recent comeback at the Rumble this year, and then now repping...
Which was Jay-Z bringing the belt from a different company.
But I'm saying now repping Impact, not even under contract with them, and working with NWA. So the representation that we talk about here is the main theme of our podcast. That's incredible for breaking down these barriers that we, hadn't seen before. However, there was an asterisk for her representation of Impact. There were a lot of words they couldn't use. They couldn't talk about
Knockouts.
Couldn't use knockouts. Couldn't use wrestling. There was a bunch of things that were no-nos.
Yeah, they called her Impact Women's Champion instead of what that title is actually called.
They couldn't use social media tagging. There were a couple other things there was a list that was provided from the dirt sheets. I found that really interesting. And I get it. You want to control the content that is shown on your screen. But it worked out, the relationship for Impact, by lending that belt and her as the champion, because they had their highest rated episode in years following that Rumble. So it worked out really well. So, props to that relationship. Hopefully it opens up for more. I'd love to see it. That's what wrestling needs to be, in all honesty. One of the things... Go ahead.
I was just going to bring back the crazy part in the chamber match for me. That Styles... Bray Wyatt threw the power bomb, throwing Styles over his back halfway across the ring. That was a crazy, crazy bump. I think that was the biggest one in the whole match for me. And as much as I did like it, it felt like just a letdown. Like that was Bray pinning Cena was the end of the match. Like the rest of it was just like you knew it was going to happen at that point. Didn't matter.
I enjoyed Baron Corbin getting eliminated and taking Dean with him after he was done.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. It added value to his character and just his menacing thing. As much as I don't like the guy or the character, I'm surprised at the run he has had on this roster. Ultimately surprised and impressed the ability to reinvent himself with
three times. Well,
3 times in the long-term storytelling too. With the losing everything, looking homeless, and then his comeback with Madcap. Or not Madcap, what the hell's his name?
It is Madcap.
It is, okay, thank you. Yeah, and Happy Corbin now. It's just crazy stuff.
Going from, the lone wolf with his straggly hair, and then deciding, okay, I'm going to get rid of it and becoming Constable Corbin, which just got him even more hate. Mm-hmm. And then, being able to transform into this Happy gimmick, which is my least favorite of them.
I loved the one before the Happy when he was so poor he was trying to be desperate. I thought that was hilarious.
The mustard stained white shirt.
Oh yeah, that was so great.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing a mid-card character and he's owning it. So props to him. Again, not his biggest fan. Hell, I can't even say I'm a fan. But hey, he's adding value to the product and he's owning it. So good on him. Good on WWE for doing something for him too, because you can't say that for a lot of the roster. So he's been a constant, which again you can't say for a lot of the roster. One thing I miss, and this pay-per-view really showed me I missed it, Mauro Ranallo.
Mm-hmm.
That man is an incredible talent in the commentary booth. But this also had a problem. This pay-per-view had a 4-man commentary crew. Could you imagine 4 people on an episode of something trying to talk about something?
No, I could never.
Terrible idea.
Awful. Awful idea as you talk over each other.
JBL.
Example, see? But no, they did have a problem with talking over each other. I just hate JBL. I hate JBL. He's a piece of shit. I hate JBL. Did I say he's a piece of shit? Because I hate JBL. I really despise that man. And I despise him even more because he's part of the reason that Ronaldo's gone.
And Corey Graves.
And I don't like Corey Graves either.
Yeah, Corey said a lot of very negative things.
He seems like a snake. He just seems like a snake to do whatever it takes to keep his job. He's one of those yes men. If it was back in the day, he'd be part of Vince's Kiss My Ass Club. You know it too.
Mm-hmm.
He would buy all the chapstick and line up.
Weren't you just giving Rob crap about his lack of inclusion? And now You're just throwing people under the bus.
What do you, no. I said anyone can. It doesn't mean they're right or wrong.
Right.
And I'm defending Renal. I said it should be there. I never said JBL shouldn't, even though he shouldn't be
JBL. You just said that you're calling out JBL.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to. Anybody can call anybody out. I didn't say they can't do that. Everyone should have the opportunity to do that. Doesn't mean they're right or wrong. That's what I said. Rewind the tape. Everyone should be included. See?
So even including JBL, you think he should be included?
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
Included in getting fired. So he's included in the unemployment line. I know another company that'll take him, right, Cody?
I don't.
Oh, shit. It's like that? They don't even want him?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Too much of an asshole.
He really is. He really is. And man, is he racist, too. Man.
One of my favorite things ever is Stevie Richard completely bending a steel chair around his face. That was great.
He deserved it. You know what he did to Blue Meanie.
Oh, I that's why it's so great.
What about him getting knocked out in Brawl for All?
Who, JBL?
Yeah.
He deserved that, too.
Legit knocked out.
Yeah. It's too bad. But
that whole thing was made to get him knocked out. That's hilarious. That's the funniest part to me. Is they made Brawl for All to hurt him.
Oh, good. He deserved it. Trash. Can't say that word on Facebook, so I'm saying it here.
Mm.
You can't say somebody's trash on Facebook?
No, you say men is trash or men are trash on Facebook, you'll be in Facebook jail real quick.
I say that all the time.
No, you don't. You'd be in jail. Trust me.
I don't have enough people that report me, I guess.
Doesn't matter, their algorithm. I said it once.
Keywords.
Yeah, I said it once.
I said the word kick and I got banned.
Yeah, in a role-playing chat.
I got told I had to stop when we were doing the Not Chat, and I brought up, and people referenced Sting.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, it's a good thing we didn't go beat somebody with a bat, and like Facebook was like, no, comment deleted. You can't say that. It's promoting violence. I was like,
yeah.
And I kept appealing. I was like, it's literally talking about things that happen in wrestling in the 90s.
They're protecting people from you. Look at you right now. You fit the profile. They're afraid.
Right. We know you're trying to inspire an army with bats.
You were. We know what you're up to. You fit the profile.
They were on to you.
Another fun thing I took note on that I wanted to point out, and this is how the mighty fall too. Every time somebody was getting counted out during the match when the referee was counting, they weren't counting. They were just chanting 10. That was how over Ty Dillinger was during this period of time. The perfect 10. He went...
Now.
I mean, what is he doing now, though? Like, that's the thing.
The chairman. He's a MJF lackey.
But that's not good. He had such potential when he went to AEW. And then nothing. No. He had potential. The man had potential. No, man.
His first day, he did a real chair shot to Cody Rhodes' face and got blacklisted.
Sometimes
he cut his head open, wide open, real life cut. Wrapped the chair around Cody Rhodes' head, had him sliced.
Hey, he should put his hand up then.
Well, Cody Rhodes probably shouldn't have said "lay into me" like that either.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're.
He told him to lay into him.
Yeah, we're sitting here blaming him completely. It's not completely his fault, but he should have been a thing. In all honesty, he should have been a bigger thing. If Zack Ryder can get over with the IWC, Ty Dillinger should have gotten over with his run in AEW.
Matt Cardona has done some amazing things out there. He has completely reinvented himself. Ty Dillinger, I think he only would have been great if he kept the 10 gimmick. I don't think that Shawn Spears could have gotten over.
I think
as a heel. He tried to come in as a heel.
I think
he's never. Yeah. Matt Cardona, he's done some wild stuff, knowing he's going to get hate, knowing he's going to go into the ballroom and just get booed and trash thrown at him and everything else.
Well, the other problem was he did what the memes now say that you do when you join AEW. You feud with Cody and then you go to Dark.
Mhm.
So I think maybe his problem was he feuded with Cody, and then he went to Dark.
Well, Cody's gone now, so.
Is he, though? That's the big conversation. Breaking news today. Is Cody Rhodes actually gone from AEW?
That's what they say.
Yeah.
That's what Busted Open was talking about today. Old Bully Ray.
Oh, Bully Ray.
about
I have a love and hate with his podcast. He says some really good things, and then some just, man. But yeah, the thing I really didn't like was the 4-man commentary, and then ultimately the thing I loved. A huge supporter of this character, Bray Wyatt, winning the belt. Sadly, his run would come to an end at the very next pay-per-view he's on, and that was WrestleMania. He would drop the belt to Randy Orton. So like an 8-week title reign, not even. And that sucked. That sucked a lot because Bray
8 weeks
Wyatt
longer than I've ever held the WWE title.
I mean, sure, yeah. But again,
This also led to The Fiend, though.
it did lead to the Fiend, but then the Fiend led to nothing. The Fiend led to more disappointment with this guy. This guy was unbelievable on the mic and pretty good in the ring, and they failed every single time to properly book his characters. Every single time. He would deliver the most incredible promos we'd heard in years, the most convincing, full of conviction and passion. And then he'd lose the damn match. You're like, slowly that stock you have in this character fades by match or loss after loss after loss after loss. And you're like, okay, you got the whole world in your hands and they're going to lose. You got this, you're the menacing feed gimmick, and then you have a just match stoppage in a Hell in a Cell match? What the hell is that? Like,
Yeah, disqualification in a Hell in a Cell. That's great.
like, what are you doing? And it wasn't just one time. It was time after time with gimmick after reinvention of this guy's characters and ideas. They buried him. In his very last match at WrestleMania was a 2.5 to 3 minute match. And he got betrayed by Alexa Bliss in a character they went on and used with a doll that copied him for a good maybe year. And then she's now done with that gimmick.
Still are.
Like,
Nope, they don't. It's coming back.
what?
They had the doll last night. They gave her the doll back at therapy.
Uh-huh.
But I thought she passed all her counseling.
Yeah, she
Sarah
did.
gave it to
Oh,
her,
so
and
they're
then
toying-
she
they're
announced
toying
she's
with
going to be in the Elimination
Justin is so
Chamber.
confused here. I love listening to
She's
this.
she's gonna be in an elimination chamber now. But yeah, she was given the real doll that was destroyed. It was stitched back together and given to her.
Oh boy.
And the
Okay.
counselor said that she'll be fine as long as she keeps Lily with her at all times.
Yeah.
The only
So
thing,
basically, all of that counseling to just have her come back.
Nothing.
I mean, it's good build for return of character. At least they gave her that instead of randomly reappearing and then getting a title match. Like,
Yeah, they gave her the Fiend gimmick because
Right.
Bray's cool.
So the only thing I hope for out of all this, while she's doing the best she can with this, you got mixed feelings from fans, obviously, because you're still reminded of what could have been and should have been. That's a problem. The only thing at the end of all this is, for the love of God, if you're going to sign anybody, don't sign Cody Rhodes. Give us the Fiend back. Like, what the hell?
He's not coming back.
I know he's not, and it sucks. It sucks so much.
Did you see his tweet?
Yeah, he said, get me off that list.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's bitter. Whatever.
I'd be bitter. I'd be bitter too.
That's fine. Everybody, go lick your wounds. You'll be back. Hell,
The
if
guy
it's-
is a creative genius.
He is. But everyone has a price and everyone licks their wounds and they'll be back. Because if it's true that Cody Rhodes left AEW, the man that despised this company for very good reasons, if he comes back to WWE, anybody, Bret Hart came back for God's sake. Anybody, Ultimate Warrior came back for God's sake. Anybody can come back.
You don't need to remember that. Oh,
What?
we don't need to remember that the Ultimate Warrior came back. It's fine.
Whoa, dude, Warrior is awesome. Get out of here.
He died right after he came back.
He did the next day.
Yeah.
Well, at least he went out on top.
He probably got poisoned.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, that's something you do. Sorry.
It is, and it will happen. Dakota King.
So all you got to do to be famous is run, shake ropes, and then not lose when you're supposed to. That's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's Cody King.
And be stiff.
It's
Gotta
Cody
be
King.
stiff.
It's Cody King.
It's mess.
This mess. What a fucking joke that was. Good Lord. That's all we have, unless you guys want to add more to the Elimination Chamber. Check it out.
Nope.
It was a good match. The right person won at that time. Yeah, Justin loved it. He gave a thumbs up. So
Overall, decent pay-per-view. Some of the filler matches were 100% meh.
Yeah, they were filler.
Yeah, like
Natty and Nikki.
That match was horrible.
That was a 14-minute boring match.
The promos, though, that build was better when they talked about John Cena leaving her, which ended up happening.
The story was better.
It ended up happening.
But the problem is, and she's the better of the two sisters, but Nikki wasn't able to wrestle, so there's only so much you can do with her.
That's fine.
Another one that was completely meh was the Cruz and Dolph Ziggler match. Those two guys in a match together, they should be able to do something cool, and it just wasn't.
I don't think they were given enough time. It was only 7 minutes long.
Yeah, it's too short.
And then Naomi and Alexa Bliss for the championship. It was nice. That was Naomi's first women's championship.
So, yes, we do have to acknowledge that she won and then entered as champion heading into Orlando, her hometown. So, good representation there. So, huge respect for WWE to doing that, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, they do the right thing sometimes. But, speaking of love stories and representation, let's head into our main segment of the podcast. Let me throw up the graphic, and then we'll close out with our last segment here. Give me 1 second. And we are back with our main segment of the Dosage, episode 137 with iRob, Cody, and Justin here. Love stories and representation. So I didn't really give you guys much to go off of with this, other than this is our theme. Come up with something in gaming that you think exemplifies love stories or representation in any games or game, if you only had one. Do any of you have examples of anything you wanted to share?
I did the worst love story.
The worst? Okay. Let's.
Yeah. Mario and Peach, by far, is the worst love story.
Why is that bad, though?
She just keeps leaving him, and he just keeps going back to save her every single time. How many times has she left him? She's not kidnapped. She's not kidnapped. She's going willingly. At that point, you're 30 years leaving and getting saved over and over again. She's going by choice at some point.
100%. So, iRob, you may remember this. One of the last songs that we wrote together was called Pixelated Loner. Do you remember that?
I do not.
You don't remember that? Okay, so it's one of the last songs I was writing with you and with Ben. Do you remember this, Justin?
No, I just thought it was funny. Like, oh, you're just gonna remember this one. No,
I thought he would, to be honest. But hey, sometimes we get old and our memory fails us, so that's fine. So Pixelated Loner is an inspired track by Mario and that love story that Cody gave us a great example of, and the reason that Peach or Toadstool, whatever you want to call her, depending on when you were born, keeps going to Bowser, or King Koopa again, whatever you want to label him as, is because he's a little king, he has money, and he's not some poor-ass plumber addicted to mushrooms. So it talks about having drug issues and addiction, and the girl leaving you because you have a problem, and she's going to go with someone more stable than you. That's the love story.
Terrible, terrible love story.
Yeah. But I wrote a song about it. I thought it was funny, and I thought it was clever. And I was also 23 years old, so give me a break. It was cool.
All those many, many years ago.
It was many years ago. It was cool at the time. I thought it was good. Anyone else have any games?
I did.
Okay.
Kind of bringing it in for all the inclusionness and love stories. Some of my favorite games recently, Mass Effect. You can pick who you want to be in love with, including if you want to have a same-sex partner. In the later games, completely okay. So, you get to pick who you want to be in love with, including aliens.
Smiles, you have a chance.
And then also in Gears of War, you have, Marcus and Anya. Love story, have kids, lead to the later games. And then I was thinking about it today and completely forgot, and I feel horrible and knocked myself down a peg. Whatever Dom's wife name is.
Oh, what was her name? Any Gears of War aficionados out there?
Because that's the story for the first game is his love story for his wife.
What was his wife? I want to say it starts with a V. I could be wrong.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
I feel bad because I should know it and I don't.
It's been a long time since I played that game.
Coal Train, baby.
Yes, the Coal Train. He's a fun character. I love that they included in later games on the multiplayer, the arena, where he played ball at. I thought that was a nice little touch to his character arc.
He's the one that everybody likes.
Well, he's fun. He's charismatic.
Okay.
How can you not like him? J-Man.
Yeah, so I mean, I can say I haven't played a lot of video games that involve a love story. I mean, I guess you could kind of say that with Halo if you want to stretch it to that.
I mean, Master Chief Cortana.
Yeah. Cortana, I know, but the one I was thinking of honestly was as well the Mario and Peach thing. But my take was actually very similar. It's like, is it Toadstool? Is it Peach? Is it Daisy? Is it like make up your mind? I mean, does he have this many wives that he just can't keep them all straight and he has to keep calling them different names? Is he calling them the right name? I don't know. Maybe that's why she keeps leaving him. And then if he really is in love with her and they're such a happy couple, then why does she keep getting captured? There's just a lot of problems there. A lot of things that aren't adding up. And I don't think we've really gotten the full story. And Nintendo should just stop holding out on us.
Yeah.
He invest in some more home security by this point.
You'd think.
I think so.
Well, doesn't he save, what's her name in Donkey Kong? Is it Daisy? Isn't that who he originally saves when he's Mario or Jumpman for the first time?
Yeah, Daisy.
Daisy, yeah. Thunderbird says, what about Metal Gear? So, Snake and Meryl, that's a fun little story arc. So that's a good example from Thunder there. Ty says Peach also never kisses Mario on the lips either and then knows her cheek exclusively. It's true.
I mean, he saved, 3 different princesses, but Peach the majority of the time. It's been Daisy, it's been Peach, and then what's the one with the blue dress? I'm blanking on her name.
Rosalina?
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
So yeah, these are different princesses. The original ones were due to translation. And then it changed, I believe, in Mario 3 was when we got the first branding, especially with Koopa and Bowser. And then it was Super Mario World when it was definitely Bowser from there out. But it was because of translation when we recognized in different regions as different names.
Sounds like a really bad excuse for not giving us the details.
Yeah.
I didn't make the game, so blame Japan and Nintendo. So
I just
Say blame Japan.
Sure.
Talk about being exclusive, and you're like, blame Japan.
I'm talking about translation. Gee, good lord. We got a war we're trying to start when we're trying to... Man. Shame. So I couldn't decide on one thing. Go figure. So I picked 3. He said, Ty says, I don't know, guys. If someone came across multiple worlds and fought countless enemies to save me, I'm straight up smooching, not peck on the cheek. Good to know. Take notes real quick and moving on. So
he is forever friend zoned.
Damn. Poor Mario. Mafia 3. Has anyone played or heard of this game?
Yes.
Heard of it.
So Mafia 3 takes place in the late 60s. Lincoln Clay is the main protagonist. He's a returning soldier from Vietnam. He is a person of color, and he comes back to his family to help them from the mob. Through playing this character in the sandbox world, NPCs, other events depict a somewhat accurate depiction, I said that twice, it's redundant, of the world and the times if you knew anything about the late 60s and the various things that was happening in the world.
I remember the late 60s fondly.
You do. I'm sure you would out of anyone here, so that makes sense. He faces resistance in the form of prejudice and racism, and the game does so throughout its storytelling as well as just driving around in certain areas. You'll actually hear chatter from the NPCs and police if you're in specific neighborhoods in the game that you, quote, should not be in. And then there's like news broadcasts. Things are changed, obviously exaggerated and tweaked to be not grounded in reality to fit the narrative. But I thought it was a really cool historical game on, someone that we don't often get to play as in games. That's, a hero story as a person of color in the 60s. How many games can you say that we have that representation? Not a lot. And
probably that one.
Right. So, and the challenges they have faced and the way they tell the story, I thought that was really cool. So as far as representation goes, I thought that was a neat story to tell. And it's a fun game, too. If you get a chance, very offensive game. Coming out swinging with a lot of the no-no words, if you will. They come out swinging with that stuff. So very offensive. There's even a warning. Like if you're going to stream this game, it's highly offensive. And there was even controversy surrounding that from the developers. Another game is, yes, the no-no words, Ty. No, we're not going there. The Last of Us. Has anyone...
I was going to say this. Yeah.
You were going to say The Last of Us?
Yeah, just a game with that much... that high profile of a game with having same-sex relationships and everything like that.
Yeah, so
and
this
the key story of it as well.
Right, and this game has a little bit of both of the theme. This has a love story, and when I meant love stories, I didn't mean like sexual relationship. Like we can have love for each other as bros, right? Mm-hmm. Even as a straight man, we can have love for another man. It doesn't mean we're in a sexual relationship with that man. It's just we have passion and care for that other person, and that's what I'm saying here. This goes in the fact too of adults or even young adults or adolescents. You can have an affection and a care for a human and have it not be sexual. So a lot of people immediately think, oh, love stories. You're thinking these passionate, like I'm going to send you a card because I want to, that's the sound effect, by the way, of sexual intercourse.
That was good.
You're welcome.
Is it now?
It is. I don't have a soundboard, so I had to improv. You're welcome.
What's the hand thing?
That's ejaculation.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
So put the kids to bed. They're not supposed to listen to this episode. Anyways, moving on. So Joel loses his daughter Sarah in the opening part of the game. You get to play as her to start, so you immediately are connected to this character. And then, spoiler alert, you get shot. And you die. And talk about heartbreaking way to start the game as the father's holding his dying daughter in his arms when they're trying to escape the city from this, zombie, if you will, breakout. Immediately get you immersed. Joel then links up almost 20 years later with a young girl named Ellie. And coincidental, there's a lot of similar characteristics. There's a lot of things, that they go through. I'm not going to expand the whole story arc of the game, but she ends up saving his life throughout the story as they continue to look out for each other. As the daughter he had once lost, he now has this relationship that, he lost out on with this person. The sequel will go on, as Cody mentioned, too, to have good representation for the LGBT community. And rated with a 1,000-bit donation. Hip, hip.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Anyways, Justin over here, just nothing. Just nothing. He's just pondering life.
Only 1,000.
Oh, dang! He said only 1,000. Okay.
That's nothing.
That's okay. Okay. I see you. We got big money, no whammy. So, good representation in the sequel, as Cody said, despite having a lot of the backlash, too. There was a lot of criticism and chatter following the release of this game. A lot of people were angry about this. I don't know why you'd be angry about representation in a game like this, but there are some people against this kind of thing, apparently.
America.
So, America, he says. Yeah.
A lot of dumb people, like I said earlier.
You're not wrong, though. But yeah, Last of Us is a great one. Great game, too, if you have the PlayStation that we talked about. The last one, have you guys ever played or heard of the Telltale series Walking Dead?
Yep. Great game.
It's a great game.
I have tried it once and didn't like it.
What?
Lee.
Great representation, great compassionate human, and I love his care for Clementine, the girl that he discovers throughout his journey. The care and devotion to make sure this little girl survives. And you get so immersed in a Telltale game because you have to make all the decisions. And ultimately, at the end of the first season of the game, he saves her. And by doing so, he'd be dead. He got bit. And allows her to escape and go on to be in the other seasons.
Alert?
That is a spoiler alert. So she takes over.
10 years old, so I think we're safe.
Yeah, it's been out for a while, but she goes on to take over the stories from the later seasons.
So what you're saying is I should give him another shot?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
you should play these games. It's one of the rare games where I got attached to the characters and was really actually sad at the end of that season. I was invested because you are literally making all the choices for these characters, and what you do affects the narrative. Like, that's smart. Like, Telltale knocked it out of the park with these games.
They always do. I mean, with that and Batman and even the Guardians of the Galaxy, they did.
Yep.
Yeah, they kill it every time.
And they're back, too. So, but yeah, that's the examples I had. Again, not your traditional, romantic love story, but
I got one in terms of a newer game that is a battle royale that is a very popular game. Apex Legends does really good with their character development and everything like that, and explaining where these characters came from, and most of them are on that scale. Gibraltar is known to be gay. Loba is known to be bisexual. Fuse, pansexual. Valkyrie is lesbian. Seer is pansexual. So it's a very wide and I can't speak. But yeah, it's very, very big into that.
See, and that's incredible too, because when you think of shooters, there's a stereotype you think of the people that play these type of games. So this is nice to see representation in a shooter to include more people playing this type of game. Because if you think of COD, for example, what do you immediately think of?
War.
What, say it again?
War?
No, I mean, okay, the game itself. Let's talk about the community then that plays it. What do you think of a stereotype of that community?
Bros,
racism, not very inclusive. So
yeah,
toxic. That's a great one. Ty says toxic. Yes. So
I miss those lobbies sometimes.
You say I miss those lobbies, dude. I was playing. I forget what game it was. It might have been Battlefield. I popped it in when it came out at launch, and it was literally the first match was shit talk and racism. And I was just like, okay. I can't have this on with my, kids. Like, I just can't. I have to mute all chat. Like, this is absurd. Mm-hmm. So, and the bad thing a lot of times too is it's kids. Like the ones doing it are kids.
Yeah, Rainbow Six is the game that everybody knows is really bad right now.
That's
for all that.
Was it Siege? Is that the?
Yeah,
yeah.
Rainbow Six Siege.
Yikes. That's had a lot of support, too, for updates. It's an ongoing game.
Yeah.
That's
unfortunate. Ran into that when they first released the Halo stuff. Went in and just joined a match, and I'm not very good at it, and proceeded to get called a homo and that I should go kill myself by 4 different people.
Love it.
It seems accurate as far as an online experience. Yeah.
So yeah, I just mentioned it back, be like, thanks for being so welcoming to the community.
But Xbox and Sony says they're cracking down on this stuff and they are monitoring.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it would prevent that negative KD ratio, right?
Wouldn't it?
Sorry.
I mean, I don't know. Like, there are people that still care about that stuff. Frankly, I don't give a damn about my record, but, man. Ty says every racist person I've come across has played Rainbow Six so far.
Yeah, accurate.
Rated's calling us scrubs for having a negative KD. Look at that.
I've seen Rated's KD. It's not too impressive. Don't let him lie to you.
I mean, none of us
I
are...
thought of one more problematic relationship.
Okay, what you got?
Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay.
So I know you're familiar with this. The arcade game, right? You go through, and let's say you're playing with somebody. Whoever has the most kills going into the scene where you save April O'Neil gets the kiss on the cheek. What's that about? You got four turtles going after the same girl, and she rewards the one who's killed the most people. That's an issue. That's a really violent relationship.
So this is an important...
They were also raised by a rat, so
yeah,
you know.
Winners don't do drugs.
Turtles.
Winners don't do drugs. And let's be fair, in the Ninja Turtles movie, only one of them really has a crush on April O'Neil. Not all of them do.
Right. Well, we're not talking movies. We're talking games here.
Okay.
You should have thought this through.
Yeah. You said games.
I know. Okay. Check it back. Jesus, rewind the tape.
We're not talking lore. We're talking products.
How dare you get off track?
Come on.
I mean, there's going to be winners and losers. Like, what do you want her to do? Just go and kiss everybody, and then you have the participation trophy problem.
No, kiss the loser.
The best. It's fine. It's okay.
No. Participation trophy is a problem. Not everybody can win. It's a life lesson, Justin. It's a life lesson. It's important. You want to get that kiss from a reporter? You got to be a winner.
I don't know. I was always told first is the worst and second is the best. So maybe second place should get the kiss on the cheek and the third should have a hairy chest.
Third is the nerd, and we're all nerds, so there you go.
It's true.
I thought third was the one with the hairy chest.
I thought third was the
Could
turd.
be wrong.
Weren't you the turd?
We always said third was the nerd in a polka dotted dress.
I haven't heard that one.
I heard turd.
Maybe that's a Michigan thing.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Fair enough. Ty says, if losers get kisses on the cheek, I'll lose everything. Rita says, wise men say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza. He's quoting the movie now.
See what you've done, Travis.
I know. I opened the door for movies. Where were you guys during the Mortal Kombat segment?
Work.
Tisk, tisk. It was a good segment. We had a good conversation on it.
I hope you did. It was better. It was better than the first movie.
It was. Open the forbidden door. Rita was eating. Well, the good thing is, you guys, you can listen to this back anytime you want because we're available on Google, Apple, and Spotify. We also archive every episode of The Dosage on our YouTube channel. If you haven't followed us yet there, youtube.com/DoseNerdAcumen. Check us out. Give us a sub. Comment on the videos you watch. Give it a like, too, so we know you're watching our content. Otherwise, why should we archive it for you? I don't know. Really, it's for us, too. Over 1,000 videos available. It's incredible. You guys are amazing. But again, check us out. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We were on TikTok, but we got mass reported, and we're no longer on TikTok. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah. Fuck you to whoever did that.
Fuck TikTok.
Yeah, so we're done with that
reported
platform.
you on TikTok?
Yeah, we got mass reported. We violated, and then we got perma-banned. Don't know what we
Did.
did.
They didn't even say why.
It didn't
even
say why.
What videos it was.
I couldn't rebuttal it. It's you're perma-banned. It's gone.
What? What were you doing that was so bad compared to everybody else on TikTok?
It was just clips.
Yeah, seriously. I went through with Andrea and looked at every one of their policies. We didn't violate a single one of them. Like, there's nothing that we had uploaded because it was clips from our Twitch stuff. Literally, our Twitch clips. I don't know. Like, I don't know what we did.
There's some questionable stuff that's allowed on there, so I'm just surprised.
And that's the other thing. I've seen some questionable stuff on there. And I'm like, okay, okay, but we violated and we're permabanned. So, don't know what happened, but TikTok's done for us, so that sucks. Rated says you can have half-naked chicks, but no clips. Little Ty says I've literally seen an entire penis on there. Yeah, we get banned. See what happens.
Maybe we just didn't post the right clips. Like maybe we need full on peen videos, and then we'll be fine.
No, somebody
Unfortunately, Twitch doesn't allow us to do that.
Yeah. I just think we got reported somebody had, a bad feeling about us, and they're like, meh, we'll show
I don't know if Trav's camera zooms in that much either, so that might be a problem.
It does. I have a micro lens. We're good. I thought ahead, man. I
gotta give what the people want, right?
I'm always prepared. You want this type of content, you got it. Zoom.
We also can't
Enhance.
show
Zoom.
a
Enhance.
single nipple on Twitch.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Not even a single nipple.
No.
Not even a part of a nipple.
No. Not even.
What if I just get a suit that looks like a chest, but it's a shirt?
Can't do that. No slipples. No slipples of the nipples.
But you can get an ear mic and lick it very sexually.
You can.
While wearing a bikini.
It's true.
Personal experience there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cody does
me and
research.
Travis were looking into it. We were looking into getting that ear mic.
Don't throw we.
No, we were looking at getting that ear mic. We realized it was $1,000. We did that.
It was like $3,500, but yeah.
Well,
I mean, hey, we thought about it.
With the one off Wish, that's just a microphone that somebody glued like an ear to. You'll be fine.
I mean, here, real quick. Listeners, people in chat, how many more of you would donate and listen to our content if me and Cody were licking ears for a couple hours on stream? Oh, wait.
It's got to be $3,500 worth.
Orochi says Twister and yoga pants. We'll do it in yoga pants, too. How many of you would donate more to the channel and support us getting this thing? Ty says, not going to lie, Ty would show up regardless. This doesn't help. Crickets we have from Thunder.
You guys
There's an alert
you guys
for
are getting
crickets.
tax money right now. Spend that tax money.
I have these pants I can wear. I heard that's a thing. I don't know,
but Cody's got a point. Tax season.
Yeah, you guys got that tax money. We know.
DNA could be ear licking. There's the crickets. There it is. DNA, hey. Ear licking streams. Do you want this? What do you guys want? We can make this a thing. How many men are doing it right now? I see a lot of women. How many men are doing this? We need to be the answer for this. Ty said the stream would be just me. I mean, hey, at least we got one. It's better than none. So, it's a start. But that's all I got.
I mean, I can post videos just like combing my beard if people want to see that.
Somebody do the crickets again.
Well, I didn't see anybody popping up in the chat that they really were looking forward to that either. So
I mean, there's a slight delay. Give them a second to say no.
I was saying nobody was interested. Not that they were like gonna come and want to see that. But
Orochi says maybe 50 bits. So there you go. I don't know if that was in response to your beard or the ear licking. So I really want to kind of conclude with what are you guys looking forward to between now and our next podcast? Are you going to be playing any games? Are you going to be watching any movies? Are you going to watch TV? Like, what is the next activities that you're doing in your free time over the next month? Or you're wanting to do?
I got nothing.
There's nothing coming out that you're not gonna complete your Pokedex.
There's some fun things happening where maybe you won't get to see my face while it's happening, but I'll be doing some streaming here coming up. We got things set up, so that'll be a thing to look for.
Jackbox, I'm hearing the return of Jackbox games on
the
channel.
That is what I'm thinking, because that seemed to be pretty popular back in the day. And it sounds like something that I would like to do. So that is the plan. Soon we'll get it up in the interwebs for a specific time and date for that. But that is the plan.
Look at that. iRob giving the people what they want. That's weird.
Yeah, I'll be finishing my Pokédex. That's something I got to do. I only got like 5 Pokemon left, so it's not like it'll take me too much longer. on Arceus.
Rated says you guys are going to be playing Apex. Thunder says
We will be playing Apex.
The Batman. That movie looks good. Ty's very excited for Jackbox, Rob. So that's good. Wow, that was loud.
Me?
Yeah.
There's my keys.
It sounded like glass rig. I thought Stone Cold was here.
Oh.
But
I threw it on an Amazon package so it wouldn't be too loud, but you know.
DC has disowned the Batman? Really? It's not a DC movie? That's weird. Justin, what are you going to be up to?
So I'll be finally actually getting into Arceus. I've started it, played it with Holden for a bit, so my son, and he got into it, and then just started catching things without me, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So just gotta kind of figure out where he left me off, and then I'll be finishing the Expanse here probably in the next week or two. So looking forward to that, so I can start some new series. But yeah, I've been plugging away at that for a long time.
Nice. I will say I've 60 hours on that game, and I still have a couple Pokemon to get.
You know what they say?
Done with the main story, but one of the last missions, you can't get to the legend until you complete that Pokédex. So.
Oh, that's annoying. You know what they say though? Touch grass, right?
Love touching grass.
Yeah, there you go.
And then I do want to throw it out there with the new 2K22 coming out that we will have to be switching over to. If you know for sure you're not going to get it, hit me up on Facebook with what you're looking for, character stuff. I will be helping create people again like normal. So
I'll probably do a launch day stream of that. I don't know what time, so stay tuned for that. But I do have to
do the micro.
No, I think I'm just going to mess around and just kind of like explore the features and then get started on some creations on stream just to kind of show the creative suite, just to hopefully inspire people and then just kind of give me feedback on building an arena together, as a group. So I think that could be fun.
I just know normally there's people that can't get it from right from day one that would like to still be doing it. So if you need help, like usual, I'm willing to do that. I actually like doing it. So
career mode. I mean, if you guys want to see that, Ty, I don't know. I haven't really expanded. I know GM mode is something that me and Cody are going to do together. Mm-hmm. So I could do career mode too if there's demand for that. It's really the only game I stream anymore. So
yeah, I will be playing my career at some point just because I do it on all of them. So if you don't want to do it, I can probably work out a stream for showing some of it too. So
well, there you go.
Yeah, I'll be grinding it, so there's no way I'll stream it.
Yeah, understandable. For me though,
That's
the game.
The first thing I always do.
Yeah, I didn't even play it in 2K19 to be honest with you. The only game I'm looking forward to right now is Horizon Forbidden West, coming out on the PlayStation 4 and 5 at the end of this very week that we're in right now. I've thoroughly enjoyed playing Horizon Zero Dawn, so I'm hoping 5 years now, which has gone by, that they've updated a lot of things visually and the gameplay. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a good game.
Would people be interested? Because I've been told that I have to do that Walking Dead Telltale series. People want to see that on stream?
Well, there you go. There's another one. So hit up iRob if you have ideas. He's looking for...
Need stuff to play that y'all want to watch. So
there you go. Big list of what? Who's got big lists? Stay connected with us. We're on Discord. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagrams. And YouTube and Twitch and Apple, Google, Spotify.
But not TikTok.
Not TikTok.
But not TikTok.
Nope. Screw them. Any last thoughts? Parting words?
Bye.
Want to thank everybody for coming and listening to us yap for a little while again. It's always fun to get together and talk about nonsense. So hopefully you people enjoy it.
Yes. Thank you guys for being here, part of this. we'll be continuing these every single month. So, Justin, anything?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, part of the reason I was running late today is because I actually had an hour and 45-minute drive to Jackson today, and then an hour and 45 back.
Yuck.
For diversity, equity, and inclusion training at the company I work for. So, very topical, very timely with what we're talking about. So, I think it's important that, it's nice to see that gaming is starting to include that more often, and hope we can see that trend continue in the future.
Definitely.
Luckily, my job did all that virtual, so I got to sit right here and do that. So I didn't have to drive for an hour and 45. But it is great that a lot of companies are doing that. It was a good 3 days that farmers put on for us for that. So,
and hopefully next month I will be a part of this, but it may be a little difficult as my child is due on the 22nd. So,
you got priorities, man. You need to be here.
And then I'm also
that's a lie. Kids are way more important. So.
Yeah. And as Travis knows, I also got offered a position at work, which is going to have me relocate starting April 1st. So this background may be a little different as well, because a lot of stuff going on for me right now.
But your face will be the same.
Face, maybe.
So
maybe. Plastic surgery pending.
I'll have you know that I never missed an episode of the Weekly Dosage during its first 100 episodes. There was an episode that we had scheduled that I phoned in video call from the hospital while my wife was in labor. Because I was
Give Travis a cookie.
I didn't want to miss a single episode, so I phoned in for part of it. And was actually still on the episode, sitting next to her while she was in labor. She was not thrilled.
Priorities.
But I was on a streak. It was like episode 80 something. I'm like, I can't end the streak now. Sorry, second born child.
Still haven't named it, huh?
Nope.
Yeah, you just have second born child.
Yeah, he's just number 2 because he's the shit. Anyway. Lana just in the background. She was, we did a video. She was in it too. Go back. I'll share it. That was probably what got us banned from TikTok.
You took a video of your wife live streaming while she was in labor?
Yeah.
I love how you question that answer.
Devotion, man. Devotion. What can I say? I'm dedicated to this show. But we had like 7 people watching. I had a streak. I didn't want to give it up. It was just one episode. Anyway. Be back. We're doing this every single month. We don't know what our themes will be, but we do know that we're going to be reviewing a retro wrestling pay-per-view. We don't know which company or what pay-per-view yet. We'll post that on social media with plenty of time, and we'll give you plenty of time too when we schedule the actual date. It's whenever we can link up like this. It doesn't have to be a Tuesday. It can be really any other day. We'll figure out something. Tuesdays just have worked. We'll have another video game film. Eventually those will run out, but we still have a lot to go. So I'm curious what your next pick will be, Rob, on that one, because there's a lot of bad choices still left. And really, the door's wide open as far as music to pick from. There's new music coming out literally every week in this world. So we don't know what to expect from Justin on his next album pick. Pleasantly surprised with this one. Will that trend continue? Really, the only way to find out is tuning in to The Dosage every single month right here. Rob, I'm doing my outro. Shut up.
And I'm trusting you.
God, look, there's the drawing. What is that? Maul me more.
Yeah, it's Bear.
It is Bear. Speaking of Bear, tune in tomorrow night. NPC returns live Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here, twitch.tv/Dose of Nerd Acumen. And then again, Thursday live. We're doing 2 episodes this... God damn it, Rob.
Who's the NPC champ right now?
Can we end this stream?
Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell, man?
I'll shut up.
Like, at least wait for me to be done. If you got one more thing to say, or raise your hand.
Dude, if I'm waiting to be
I'm
done, you
gonna
would never
mute
will.
you.
'Cause you just
I'm
talk
gonna
it up.
mute you. Good lord.
Clutch fingertips.
This is a fucking train wreck now.
Everybody should go fingertips in the
This
center.
is like the old days of the weekly doses. We can't end the show. What are we doing? With our
Fingertips in the
powers
center.
comband, Rated gives a gift. The bear got a sub gift. Thank you so much. You're on the wrong side, Justin. What are you doing? The other corner. The other
Doing it
corner.
intentionally wrong.
Oh, God. Oh. Now he's just going off camera. You guys are killing me. Oh, good lord. I can't. This is just madness.
Are we touching tips this one?
No, we're not doing anything now. We're ending the damn show. Tune in tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night right here if you like EFED, online wrestling leagues. This is the place to be. The best AI wrestling league out there, in my opinion.
Biased.
Well, hell yeah, I'm biased. Wouldn't I be? Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 137. Thank you, iRob. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Justin. And this joke is for iRob. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Me.
Yeah, it's iRob. It is iRob. And scene says rated.
All people count too. Jeez.
Hey, inclusive. We include them too. Good night, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode.